So in the arithmetic, so as the term number is going up 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, the a sub n is going up by the same amount. We are either adding or subtracting the same number each time. So this is linear. Some vocab would be, that would be what you are adding each time, or subtracting. What are you adding each time? What's a sub 1? It says find a sub 1. What's a sub 1? I can't hear you. I don't mean the answer is a sub 1. The first term. So this says find the first term and find d. It's the common difference. To find, oh my God, look at a lot of you, but if you need a formula to find d, you just take any term, no matter what term. So they say start with a sub 2, second term, and you subtract a sub 1. Be the same as if you took a sub 3, the third term, and you subtract a sub 2. So my common difference for this first one is 1. Did that? And a sub 1 is, for this first one, 2. Oh, I guess here it says find a sub 1 and d. A sub 1 is 6. What is our d for this one here? Right? A sub 1 for the next example is 19. What is our d? You can still write it that way if you want, but this is just telling you a formula. If you want, you can just take any number, 9, and then subtract off the number right before it, 14, and that gives you your common difference d. Now to find the nth term, if it has a common difference, to find the nth term, here's a formula you can use. You will plug in the first term. You will plug in how many terms there are, which term it is. Let me start over. You can, if you need to, D, and you can plug in the value at the nth term. It just depends what you find. This is the formula for the nth term. A sub n equals first term a sub 1 plus parenthesis n minus 1 multiplied by the common difference. So in the example below, 4, 9, 14, 19, find the 21st term. So the first thing is it arithmetic? That's plus 5, that's plus 5, that's 5. Check. It is arithmetic. 1. What is our D? What are we trying? 21st term. So we're going to use this formula. It says a sub n. So since I want to find the 21st term, I'm going to put a1. My first term, 4, plus parenthesis, I'm 20. Term, so I'm going to put 21 in for n, minus 1, multiplied by the common difference, 5. So 4 plus 20 times 5. So 104. All right. A sub 21 is 104. The 21st term has a value of 104. This only works for arithmetic. It does not work for any other sequence. Only works for arithmetic. Next question. Find the term number for 702. So 702 is one of these terms. Which term is 702? So what's our first? What's our first term? 2. Thank you. 7. Formula. We do not know which term 702 is, but we do know the value at that term. The value at that term is a sub n. So our a sub 702. That's going to equal a sub 1 plus n minus 1 multiplied by common difference d, which is 7. Now we have an equation we can solve for. So subtract the 2. Add 1. Is 702. It is the 101st term. All right, there's 2 that I want you to try. They're exactly like the 2 that we just tried. I want you to try these, see that you can get them. I'll put try to see if you can get those on your own. Bless you. Oh, it should be the 72nd. Subtracted instead of adding 1. Here we go. When you are ready to go on, flip the page over so I know who's ready to go on. Oh, I guess you can't flip the page over if you don't do that. Question? Did you get it? So I do want to talk using things that we've learned in class, or reverting back to what you know type stuff. In this chapter, that says find the 13th term, you could just like list them until you found the 13th term. You do that on a quiz or a test, I'm not going to give you credit. because that's not what you're being assessed on. Okay, I know you got the same answer, which is great. That means you can problem solve and figure things out. But in this chapter, you are being assessed on, can you use this new formula that you used? It is not just that you got the right answer. Okay? So as I'm teaching you things, you need to be practicing them using this formula. You know that question I had up earlier about the sum of 100 numbers? I think that something similar to that's on a quiz or a test, and yeah, I had people just list them all out and try to add them all up by hand. That's not what you're going to do for that one. I just had that one up for fun, but we will find that answer today. So with this one here, we have is 79, and the 13th term, 151, and we are going to find the first term and the common difference. Okay? It says there's two methods. There are two methods. I'm going to stick with the one that we've been working on recently. If there's other methods and you figure something out and you want to use it, you're more than welcome to ask. But I know on the quiz, I will ask you to use this specific method. It will say, use this on the quiz. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a system and solve. We're going to set up a system of equations and solve. We have two things that we need to find, a sub 1 and d. We have two variables. And if we need to have two equations. So my first equation is going to come from the information of a sub 7 equals 79. We have, for our first equation, hold on, a sub n equals a sub 1 minus 1 times d. Okay, so for the a sub 7 equals 79, what is a sub n out of a sub 7 equals 79? Is the value of the seventh term. Like I could put a sub 7 here, but a sub 7 is 79. Put 79 right here. That's the value. And then a sub 1 we don't know. Do we know n? 7, right, that's where the 7 goes, minus 1. And we don't know d. Now I'm going to use the other information to set up a second equation. Same way, we're going to start with 151 as the value. A sub 1 I don't know, plus 13 minus 1 times d. I'm going to do the minus ones. And now we have a system of equations. How can we solve this system of equations? What should we do? Substitution, elimination, what do you guys want to do? Elimination? What would you like to eliminate? The d? How are we going to eliminate the d? Not by negative 6. Negative 2, yeah. Now, I actually would have eliminated the a's, but it doesn't really matter. I just listened to whatever idea you guys had. All right. 80 times 2 is 160, so 79 times 2 is 158? Negative, right? And then the second equation we keep the same. Did you get a sub 1 equals 7? Did I make a mistake? Did we do it right? Okay, so we already know one of them. Now what do we do to get the other one? Plug it into where? Into what? 1 or 2, right? Which one you want to do? 1? Okay. Plug in 1. So 79 equals 7 plus 6d. So 72 equals 6d. Divide by 6. D is 12. Are we done? Now we should probably check our answer. We've done all the 151 equals 7 plus 12 times 12 equals 7 plus 144. Does that work? So a sub 1 is 12. Any questions about that? Same stuff you've been doing for a couple chapters. All right, the last example, last formula. This is a formula. I will have a formula sheet when you take tests and quizzes. So you don't necessarily have to, because we'll have a bunch of formulas for this chapter. You don't necessarily have to know the formula, but I'm not going to tell you what n stands for. I'm not going to tell you what s sub n stands for. So you need to know what these mean. You should already know, because we just did a bunch of stuff. You should already know what n means. What's n mean? The term number, like number of terms. What's a sub n equal? Or mean, sorry. The n tells me the term I'm on, but when I do a sub n, what does it tell me about the term that I'm on? Starts with a V. That helps you. It's the value of that term. It's the number in that slot. Okay? What's a sub 1 tell me? That's the value of the first term. A sub n is going to be value. Okay? Now, S stands for the sum, and then sub n would be of those that many terms, of however many n is. So S stands for sum. So if we're trying to find the sum, what is the first number? 1. What is the nth? 200. How many terms are there? So n is 200. So that won't always be the same. We won't always have the number of terms and the last term being the same thing. How about the next? Yeah. I was just checking to make sure, but yeah, the next one's different. Okay. So we're going to use this formula. So we're going to do of the 200 terms divided by 2, and we'll multiply that by 1 plus 200. So 100 times 201. So if you add together the first 200 numbers, first 200 natural numbers, you should get 20,100. unless I did my math wrong because I didn't use a calculator. You guys will tell me though, right? Was there a no in there? Any questions about using that? I feel like this comes up places. Maybe it's just in math contests. Maybe it's not ACT. Maybe it's just math contests. I just know I've seen this kind of thing before. Speaking of, hold on, let me pause it for a second. Talk about the ACT for just. All right, find the sum. You ready? Find the sum of the first 50 terms. So what's my n? What is my a? 2? 2. Now, what is my a sub? I don't know, but guess what? I am not going to continue this pattern 50 of them. Waste of time. Instead, what is the pattern? Like, what's the time? It's so I can use the formula a sub n, and we can find the 50th term. I'm sorry. Two plus number of terms 50 minus 1 times a sub 50 should be 2 plus 49 times 3. Well, 50, so 49 times 3 is 147. Plus 2, 149 should be the 50th term. So now we use our S sub n formula. It says take the number of terms, divide by 2, multiply that by the first term, the last term, and you'll have the sum. So 25, 151. Okay, I'll use my calculator. And the sum would be 3,775. So if you do not know the last, there should be some sort of pattern where you could find the last term. Now we're going to use this partial sum formula when it's given to us in this format. Find the So I need the number of terms. So how many terms are there? 10? Okay. I need a sub 1. Question, am I given the first term? No, find the first term. Okay, so 9 times 1 minus 4 is our first term. So we do 9 times 10 minus 4 is 86. Multiply that by first term 5 plus last term 86. So 5 times 485. Is that right? Stuff. There might be a question you're allowed to use your calculator to plug this in, but there might be a question where you're going to use this instead. So assessed on different And the last one, find the partial sum. So I need to know the number of terms. And I need to know the last term. How many terms?
Oh, 18.
There are not 18 terms. There's 19. I mean, there were 10 terms, and I did not argue with you because that is correct. There are 10 terms. You're trying to use these numbers to figure out the terms. If I used 10 and 1 to figure out 10, I try. Right? Because that would be 9. Or if I did subtract them, it would be 1 more than subtracting them. Here, if I did subtract them, I would get 18, but 18 is not. That's subtract these, we have to add 1 to it because subtracting finds the difference, but you have to include that first term. So to number of terms, I'm going to write number of terms. I'm going to say upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. That's how you can find the number of terms. Upper limit 20 minus lower limit 2 plus 1 is 19. So I actually don't want a sub 1. I want the first term, but I don't want a sub 1. What do I want to plug in? I actually want a sub 2 as the term, which is plug in. I get 12. And then my last term. So there's 19 terms, but the 20th one is what we're doing. So we're going to plug in 20. Should be 1083. You're doing this stuff on your own and you're not sure if you're doing it right. Check. I'm going to try to check it here side by side, but show you the work still. There we go. So let's see. X would go from 2 to 20, and we're doing 5x plus 2. 1083. That was way faster, but that used no brain power. That used this power. Muscles don't really need to get that strong. This is using the brain power. You will be able to show me that you know how to do it on your assessment, but more of them you'll have to do on your own. Okay? All right, so stuff is written on Canvas already. Some of us have already seen it. That was it. Dex downloaded the book link. You've already downloaded the book link. Okay. That's what you can work on the rest of class. I am going to hand out a review. However, it's not going to be due on Tuesday. It'll be due on block day next week, and we're going to have a quiz on block day next week. over 9-1 and 9-2. So I'm giving it to you today. So if you get done with today's assignment, because it really shouldn't take too long, you get done with today's assignment, you could start on the review early rather than trying to do it all on Tuesday. Or, yeah, do it all on Tuesday, yeah. Okay? Hold on a second.